welcome again to the big match. Today, our main match is the London derby game between Queen's Park Rangers and Tottenham. And from that game, we have a studio guest, and it's Willie Young of Spurs. We support that match with another from the First Division, Leeds United against Newcastle United. And then we have another of our fascinating dips into the Fourth Division for Cambridge United against Northampton Town. A good game that was marred, though, when a Northampton player was sent off. But first we move across to West London, to Loftus Road, where Spurs come out knowing that they face a formidable task, even though their recent record has been most encouraging. And with both teams now on the field and getting the feel of a blustery win, we are ready for Queen's Park Rangers against Spurs, and let's take a check on the two teams. Rangers are unchanged. Spurs have Terry Naylor back after suspension. John Duncan returns after injury to substitute, and Alfie Conn is out through injury. But for Queen's Park Rangers, a unique moment, as 5 of their players are chosen by Don Revie for the England squad for that vital game against Portugal in 10 days' time. And here they are. From the left, Ian Gillard, Jerry Francis, Stan Bowles, Phil Parkes and Dave Thomas. Quite a moment there for Rangers. The referee today is Harold Hackney from Barnsley, and now the crowd is waiting for the start.
And Spurs kick off in a smart outfit, all of yellow, with black facings, attacking the goal to our right. Coming here, I suppose they might admit, or perhaps they wouldn't, as underdogs. They lie 15th in the table, although they've been unbeaten in their last 8. Now facing one of the most, if not the most exciting side in the First Division. Queen's Park Rangers in their blue and white hoops. It's Francis, but Chris Jones getting in with a good deal of aggression there and determination, and taking that pass from Ralph Coates very well. Coming in towards Chivers, and Gillard forced to give that a corner away. So Ian Gillard quickly in action, as indeed were Spurs down that left flank. And Ralph Coates will take the corner for them. And Willie Young right in there. So too is Don McAllister. So Coates with the corner. And in fact it was McAllister's head of it. Neither power nor direction. And so Phil Parkes, well, it's early days, but what a display of goalkeeping we should have here today with Phil Parkes in goal for Queen's Park Rangers, and the incomparable Pat Jennings at the other end for Tottenham. High towards Bowles. And Bowles turning to Francis and saying, let's keep it a bit lower in this breeze. Jones with Webb in close attendance, still with Chris Jones, turned there and behind. Showed his danger there, Chris Jones. A young player who's learning all the time. He was very much as a target man for Tottenham, but he gave David Webb something to think about there. Gillard in very positively. Throw finding Jones. Webb's after him, and he's still got in a very good cross towards Ralph Coates, and that very nearly came off for Tottenham. There was some superb play under a lot of pressure there by young Chris Jones, and he got his cross in. Coates was there at the far post, and he was being hustled just enough for Rangers by Mick Leach. Thomas. Ian Gillard. Played again towards Givens. Obviously Tottenham very aware of the problems that Givens can cause in the air, but Willie Young is stuck pretty close to him, but now Givens with a shot. Oh, and what a good one there. A really excellent save there by Pat Jennings. Willie Young had lost Givens for a moment, and Givens almost took full advantage of it. The ball moving quite a bit in the air, and Jennings doing exceptionally well once again to save it. Seems to have carried on from that form of last week. Clintock trying to get in there, but it was Willie Young's header again for Tottenham. Masson trying to play it back for Dave Clement, but Perryman will be there first for Tottenham. And an offside against Jimmy Neighbour. Francis to Thomas. Hasn't really used his pace so far this afternoon. Now maybe he'll do it against Naylor. No. But that's a good pass to Dave Clement. Cross coming in again, and over the top there from Jerry Francis. Played back for Leach. Now for Gillard. Planted forward, onside, a good, well-timed run there by Jerry Francis, and a bit of luck there as Bowles can take it up. Down he goes, no penalty. Francis turning it in, and Leach was almost there again for Rangers, but now Coates can take it away for Tottenham. Good ball there to Jimmy Neighbour. Taking on Gillard, and in the end losing out. Thomas, the short ball to Webb, and now for Leach. A nice little flick there for Francis. This is better. Now for Bowles. A Rangers player down and injured, as Osgood gets up well to head away. In fact, 2 Rangers players are injured. Jones. The referee keeping the play going. Both injured. Chivers now taking it on. And a tremendous shot there. Oh, and Parks only half saved it. And Jones almost came in to finish it off. So now there can be treatment for the injured. One of them is David Thomas on the right. I think that's Ian Gillard, who's flat out. So there's Thomas, the right knee, and I think that's Gillard. Are you all right to go on, he's being asked. I think Dave Clement is shaking his head and saying, no, I don't think he is. And I think Gillard might well have to go off, for a few minutes at any rate. John Hollins, a very experienced substitute, just warming up as a precautionary measure. Dave Thomas all right. McClintock. Givens. And now Perryman, a touch to Chivers. Didn't quite go for him. Always suggesting that it might, though, as Gillard comes back onto the field. Willie Young winning it in the air. Young's job obviously to mark Don Givens very tightly. There he goes again, there's Givens, and Young right behind him. Masson turning that in. Again, Leach was coming up fast in a blind position. Gillard. Now Pratt. And Chris Jones onside. Now, can Chris Jones make something of this? McClintock's after him. Brilliant defence by McClintock. Well, he showed he'd got a fair bit of football left in him, Frank McClintock. He caught Jones and tackled superbly to take that ball. Bowles. No foul. Naylor. On for Pratt. Spurs at the moment looking the better side. Now Chivers. Now can he take on McClintock? There's the shot. Punched away that time by Phil Parks. No doubt at all about it that Rangers are thrown out of their stride by the conviction that Spurs are showing and their ability, even though they're playing away from home, to come out and attack them. Coates to Osgood. Dave Clement's header. Now Coates. Well, he's gone past McClintock. Coates. Free kick. Brought down by Clement. Willie Young coming forward now. And as that 6 foot plus of number 5 come forwards, that must mean a threat for Queen's Park Rangers. Givens back there to mark him. Chris Jones. 3 minutes to go to half-time now. McAllister, Masson, Bowles playing it on for Don Givens. Oh, and he hit the top of the crossbar. Well, Jennings would have had no chance with that. Givens, a superb piece of skill as that ball is played on for him. Hit it first time, a sharp angle, right-footed, but with tremendous power against the top of the crossbar. Dave Clement can't play it back because Chris Jones is blocking the way. McClintock finding Masson, and back to Clement again. High ball again towards Givens, hardly lifting himself off the ground. And Coates now for Tottenham. The throw given to Tottenham. But before it can be taken, the half-time whistle's gone. Where Spurs have played well, Don Givens has been the closest to a goal, though, just hitting the top of that Tottenham crossbar. But probably as good as anybody in the Spurs side has been their number 10, Chris Jones, has been very lively indeed up front, and almost made 1 or 2 chances for himself. But Spurs, no doubt, putting Rangers out of their stride by coming forward with so much conviction. Nonetheless, we have a half-time score here at Loftus Road that reads Queen's Park Rangers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Well, welcome back to Loftus Road as referee Hackney gets us away at the start of the second half. Rangers now attacking the goal to our right, but it's Spurs with John Pratt at the moment. Chivers played on nicely for Pratt, and obviously Spurs intent on going on where they left off in the first half. That's not a bad cross coming in towards Chris Jones, but Clement climbing very well indeed for Rangers. Here's Leach. Stan Bowles played on nicely for Jerry Francis. Well, that should be Pat Jennings' ball, and it is. This Tottenham tackling and chasing and hustling is so disciplined. And here's Chivers. Oh, and a good shot! That really was vintage Chivers, the power of that shot. And I think Phil Parkes was delighted to be able to grab that one to his chest. Pratt, beaten by Leach. Now Young turning it back to Pat Jennings. Now it's Coates for Tottenham. The makings of a very good second half. The throw. Linesman applauded by Martin Chivers, I notice. It's a free kick. Coates. Tottenham's throw. Don McAllister with it. Here's Chivers. McAllister, oh, he's given that one away. Did his best to win it back again. Perryman to Chivers. Played nicely there by Chivers for Pratt. Now on for Neighbour. Really stretching Rangers to the limit at the moment as Spurs. If they came here as underdogs, they're growing with confidence with every minute that's played. Chivers turning on it and grabbed there right at the end by Phil Parkes. And Chivers looking in very sharp form this afternoon. Feet were high there by Clement. On Chivers, good decision again by the referee. Free kick to Tottenham. Chivers feeling that a bit. Really has looked in pretty good form this afternoon. Certainly the efforts there as well. And chasing back in a defensive role, as well as looking for goals too. And that's a young lady looking for goals, but from another angle. McClintock's header. Perriman. Neighbour. To Naylor. Crossing again towards Perriman. Chris Jones, he'd almost got it on the turn. He almost got it on the turn again, and somehow Park saved him. He's a real hustler, that Chris Jones. And he very nearly made a chance for himself there. Tremendous credit to him, and he's a real worker. And in the end, he was denied by Phil Park's bravery. So a corner then to Tottenham. Curled in once more. Willie Young's right in there. But here's Jimmy Neighbour. Well, can he do something? Perriman. They're really carrying this fight to Queen's Park Rangers. Well, that was a nice back heel by Gibbons. And away you go. Queen's Park Rangers through Don Masson. Tried a long sweeping ball towards Stan Bowles, but it was caught on the wind. And it's Perriman now for Tottenham. Well, they confused each other, and John Pratt was not confused. Coates. Free kick. Now Masson. Here's Francis. Webb. Meanwhile, Martin Chivers off the track, off the pitch rather, getting a bit of treatment, and John Duncan warming up, the substitute. Masson, good ball there to Thomas. Caught it well, and it took the deflection, and it almost fooled Willie Young. Leach is right in there too, and Rangers get a throw. 11 minutes of the second half gone. And I think it's Leach needing a bit of treatment. And John Duncan, in fact, is taking his tracksuit off, and I think that's the last we should see of Martin Chivers going down that tunnel. Terry Neal, the Spurs manager there, just making sure, just giving Duncan his instructions. Well, he's done pretty well. I think that signal from Terry Neal said a few things. Keep that going. So John Duncan's on. He's got 5 goals this season. Thomas, Masson. Again, as Perriman went into him, it's an example of the way Spurs are hustling. They're not allowing Rangers time to think or breathe. But that's not a bad cross there. Oh, and a beautiful one-handed save by Jennings. That really is his speciality, with those mighty hands of his. He clasps the ball almost like a tennis ball. Beautiful piece of goalkeeping. Pratt, Naylor. Duncan with a header. Well, the only thing that's lacking at the moment are goals. There's been an awful lot of skill and an awful lot of wholehearted play, and a tremendous amount of effort, particularly from Tottenham. Some of the wrong sort there, I think, by Steve Perriman, giving Rangers that free kick. Gibbons and Willie Young jumping for this one, and Don Gibbons really giving the referee a ticking off there right in front of him. Felt that he was unfairly dealt with by Willie Young there, but now it's Chris Jones for Tottenham. He's hurdled past McClintock, and there's a good shot. Oh my goodness! Well, that would have been one of the goals of the season if that had gone in. Jones, who seems to get better with every game, went past McClintock, finally got it onto his left foot and unleashed a tremendous shot. And how close it was. Bowles trying to get the better of Young, and Young sticking well to him. Helped by Naylor. Oh, and Bowles retaliating badly there on Willie Young. The linesman quickly there to intervene. The referee arriving now, and Willie Young saying that he was kicked by Stan Bowles. And Bowles' frustration showing there. And the referee and the linesman are now getting together to talk it over. Now, will Bowles be in trouble? The linesman surely would have seen it because it was right in front of him. It's a free kick there. And the referee takes no action. Oh, yes, he is. I think he might be calling Stan Bowles over to him. The game won't start. He wants to have a word with Bowles. Stan Bowles doesn't know it yet, but the referee, I think, wants to have a word with him. I think the referee is not looking at the free kick position. I think he wants to have a word with Stan Bowles. Now, I can't think what's happening here, but yes, he's calling Stan Bowles and Willie Young over to him. And he's given him a good bit of Yorkshire. Harold Hackney, who comes from Barnsley. Well, thank goodness it ended that way. It could have been much worse. Now, Francis again taking it from Clement. Free kick, booking, and Jerry Francis angry with the way that he was dealt with, but the referee was all reaching in his book. And Willie Young's name will go into the referee's book for that foul on Jerry Francis. That's the foul. Back for Pratt. The early ball going in. Jones trying to dummy around it. Neighbour again. Chance again to weigh up this cross. Chris Jones with a header. Perryman with a shot. Well, we've seen Perryman several times before in his career come in on that sort of shot and hit a volley screaming into the roof of the net. But that time it finished high on the back of the terraces. McAllister lost that to Bowles. A bad place to lose the ball, especially to a player like Bowles, and he gave Bowles a nudge there. And it's still, oh my goodness, that was nearly the craziest goal of the season there, as that ricochet came off a Rangers, off a Spurs player, and Jennings somehow managed to grab it, but it still went over for a corner. Well, that was a remarkable incident. So, a corner again for Queen's Park Rangers. About 6 minutes to go. Deep again towards Jerry Francis. Spurs come out so quickly from those corners. Again, they're giving Rangers no time at all to develop anything. But maybe Bowles can do something here. There he goes. Nothing given. Leach planting it in again. And there's Webb on the far side. Almost got it. There's a fair bit of arm waving going on in the Spurs bench at the moment now. They know they're a matter of a minute or so from a very good point indeed. And who knows, they might even snatch a second one as Neighbour turns that in. But Phil Parkes is there. Now they've got to come back, because Thomas is on his way. And Coates was after him. Still with Thomas, and he's gone past McAllister too. No, he didn't. But he got a corner for Rangers as we come to the last minute of the game. So if it's going to happen for Rangers, it's got to happen now. Thomas with the corner. Everybody back for Tottenham, and nearly everybody up for QPR. Dave Clement there. Oh, and it went finally off the head of Jerry Francis, somehow into the arms of Pat Jennings. A backward header by his own man, in fact. And Jennings then just managed to grab that ball as it hit Jerry Francis. So there's a fair bit of shouting and a fair bit of arm waving going on, as Spurs know that they're almost there, with a point that I think only their most ardent supporters could have seen them getting today, although their away form hasn't been bad, and they've had an unbeaten run of 8 games. Well, can Chris Jones do something here? He can't, because McClintock gets it away. Here's Givens. Oh, and Givens is retaliating there. And I don't know whether Givens is being called across. Yes, I think Don Givens' name is going to go into the book as well. So Willie Young's name has gone in. Don Givens' name has gone in. All right, Terry, I heard him say, or saw him say. An idea of how blustery it is to see the way that notebook is fluttering about as well. That's twice Mr. Hackney's had to flutter it out, though, to take 2 names. And a free kick to Tottenham. A look at the watch. And there goes the final whistle. And a very good draw indeed for Tottenham. And one they thoroughly deserved. The way they chased and hustled and never allowed Rangers to develop anything at all or to get into their stride, and showed a fair bit of style and spirit themselves. Willie Young playing well in that defence, learning with every game he plays down here in the First Division. And so we come after a really excellent goalless draw. A final scoreline then: Queen's Park Rangers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
And indeed, that was a very good result for Tottenham. And it's a pleasure to welcome onto the programme today a big man who had played, in fact, a very big part in that point for Spurs, Willie Young, their big number 5. In fact, you were telling me on World of Sport yesterday, Willie, that you were confident of getting a draw. It seems to me that Spurs' confidence is growing all the time. Yeah,
well, since I've come down, we've went now 9 games without defeat. And for a team in our position, we play attacking football all the time, which surprised me when I did come down, because usually teams in that position tend to defend a lot. But we're a natural attacking team, and I think before the end of the season, we'll rise quite a few places more.
Were you surprised at the morale Spurs had when you arrived?
Yeah, definitely. There again, team at the bottom of the league, almost at the bottom, you expect them to be pretty low in morale. But I found the dressing room was a good atmosphere, and the players, they're very chirpy for the position they were in. I think they knew it was only a matter of time before they started getting results.
What was your specific job yesterday?
Well, QPR, they always try to drag the central defender out the middle for like Leach and Givens at the back post. So we played it that if a striker came off and went out, Keith Osgood would always go with him, and I'd be left at the back post for the high ball, which I think worked pretty well.
So you were a big barrier in the central position the whole time. I think the thing that impressed a lot of people there was the way you hustled and drove for full 90 minutes there and never allowed Rangers to settle. And we've got an example of this now, Willie, that I'd like you to tell us if you think this is the right sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, you can see John Pratt here. He closes right up. I think that's Givens, is it?
That's it.
He lays it in, and Stevie goes immediately to him. He lays it wide again, and Don McAllister goes straight across. You can't allow players like these to dwell on the ball because they're so dangerous. Now he lays it in here, and Chris Jones gets a timely tackle on him. And when the ball's played back upfield, you'll notice that Chris is the one who's furthest upfield again.
And there's Ralph Coates as well, so out of defence you're suddenly going to make something in attack.
And I think
as well.
If the camera came over a bit, you'd have seen that Jimmy Neighbour was also up. Plus the midfield would have been supporting again.
You need a lot of pace to do those sort of things, and I must hold my hand up to you straight away because I criticised you in the last 7 days for not having enough pace.
Yeah.
Did you feel that this was a justified criticism, or do you think you're sharpening up now, or what?
I think when it came down to start with, there was a bit, big people tend to need a lot of short, sharp stuff, and I don't think I'd had enough before I came down. And I think I have sharpened up quite a bit since I came down, because they've been working a lot on my speed. I think I have picked up a bit of pace.
I'm sure Spurs fans are impressed with what they've seen of you. And we were saying a moment ago about Chris Jones, and I think they're only just beginning to realise what a very good young player he is as well. Tell us about Chris Jones.
you know, before I came down, I'd never heard of Chris Jones, because obviously up there you only hear about the big name stars. But since I came down, I've really, he's so good really. He's very good in the air, he's very strong on his left foot, and his control is very good. And I think you'll see...
Well, we got a couple of instances here where he lays off the ball, both with his feet and with his head. This is one with his feet.
Here it comes here, he just lays it inside to Ralph for a shot.
Lovely
here.
touch.
Yeah, left foot again.
He takes quite a buffeting up front as a target man, doesn't he? But he wins an awful lot in the air for you.
Yeah, he's got a very good jump. You know, he gets off the deck really well. And he's very good in the air as well. He lays them off really well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Steve normally tucks those away, doesn't he?
It would have been a hard one to stick away actually, because you can see there that there were two men in front of him. Yeah. I think if it had been on target, we'd have hit them.
Now he's good on his left foot, isn't he, Chris Jones?
His control is good as well, and he keeps the head well. You know, he doesn't panic. And he's got a dynamite shot with that left leg.
That would have been one of the goals of the season, you know, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What did you think of Queen's Park Rangers yesterday, Willie?
Well, a team can only play as well as you let them play. We tended to close them up, so they weren't allowed to play as well as they could do, but I was a bit disappointed in them, really. But you can see that they have, you know, they've got the players there, when they're on their game, they can play really well. Maston, I thought he's a good player.
What about Bowles and Givens and Francis, for example?
They're very good, naturally. I mean,
you had a bit of a bust-up with Stan Bowles that the viewers already seen, of course.
Yeah, I think that was just a flash of temper, just in the spur of the moment. It was best of friends after it, you know.
I want to show you one other little thing before we go on to you personally, and that is a marvellous piece of defence that we saw from Frank McClintock yesterday. A Scot who's been in the game a fair while, Willie, and I'm sure you as a number 5 would appreciate just what an excellent piece of defence this was. A great rescue for them as you come driving forward again. I think it's Chris Jones who gets away there.
John Pratt, so you can see Chris's pace there.
But look how Frank's making up on him.
It surprised me how quickly Frank got back there, actually. But there again, Chris had to slow up there to get control of the ball and steady himself, which gave Frank a chance, but still he got back very well there. I think his teammates would have been proud of him.
Marvellous. Well, time for our second game now, and for this we go into the 4th division. It's long been our contention that you can find really good football right through every division of the Football League, in fact. And yesterday, Cambridge United and Northampton added to that view with some very nice touches indeed. Mind you, Northampton, under manager Bill Dodgen, began the day at the top of the table, and their only setback yesterday was that they had a player sent off. And as you'll see, the refereeing was a degree on the sharp side. Cambridge against Northampton, pictures from Anglia. Commentator Jerry Harrison, Cambridge are in the stripes.
Slowing it down a little bit here, Northampton. Not their style at all, really. And I'm afraid David Carlton's going to be in trouble. Well, he certainly didn't give him much warning. I can't remember him being warned about that beforehand. So that's a pretty strict observance of the law there by referee Bert Newsom. Siri getting away from his man beautifully. And he's got a player on the left, it's Shinton. Oh, it's a good shot. Well, that was a good bit of play by Ray Siri. First of all, past McGowan, then ducking past another player. And although Shinton was very free on the left, he tried the long one. And Alan Starling comfortably let it go by, but it looked pretty close from here. And that looked like handball, but it goes for a corner. And Watson coming over to take this one with Shinton going probably onto the near post. Eads is over the far side with Dave Simmons for the long run in. This is a difficult sort of corner to defend against as attackers come in down the slope. Watson curling it in. Out comes Starling, goes back again. Gregory got it. And Siri hits one first time. Fallon trying to turn. And here it comes now to Terry Eads to chip back in. Oh, there goes Howell wide on the right, but he hasn't been seen. And Simmons is offside. Great Scott. Well, he probably heard the whistle a long time before he put it into the back of the net, but it really seems a pretty harsh decision by the referee. So Dave Simmons starts back again at Cambridge United with a booking. Here's Phillips. That's a free kick. Spriggs bringing him down. Well, I would have thought that might have been a worse infringement than a couple of the incidents which have brought bookings in the second half, but there you are. Stuart Robertson's over the far side. Barry Tucker to take this one. Hall now making a run towards the near post. Up goes Hall, he got there. Well, that was the danger that Ron Atkinson talked about beforehand. You've got to pick this man up early. The classic case of the near post run with plenty of support from behind. The ball nicely put in by Barry Tucker, and there's Jim Hall to knock it past goalkeeper Walker to give Northampton a vital 1-0 lead. That's 40 minutes into the second half. Tucker. Spriggs looking for support here as he wriggles past Stratford. Fine play. Stratford gets it back though. Oh, and another one into the ball. Well, you can't tell what he said to the referee there, and he's off for continuing to talk to referee Bert Newsom. Well, this is very much unlike Paul Stratford. Well, the applause from that woman over there is unprecedented and certainly unwanted, because Stratford lost his head a little bit when he was pulled up by the referee, and within 5 seconds of saying that, he's gone. Well, quite incredible. Jim Hall coming off his man with a lovely flick, giving it to McGowan and Phillips. Oh, good shot. Oh, my word. Steve Phillips. Still dangerous, though. And Batson clears. Well, that was a fine movement. And first of all, came from the flick by Hall. Lovely bit of play. And it led to Steve Phillips through. It looked as if his second goal of the season was on. And the goalkeeper well beaten.
Well, some strong refereeing there, and Northampton Town with that victory stay at the top of the 4th Division. Our last match today comes from Elland Road, Leeds, where Leeds United yesterday faced Newcastle United. And Leeds are still going well in spite of continued injury problems. This weekend, for example, they had Gordon McQueen back after injury, only to lose Alan Clark. So how would they make out against Newcastle United and Malcolm MacDonald? The pictures come from Yorkshire Television. The commentators Keith Macklin. Leeds United, of course, in white.
McQueen. Mackenzie to Eddie Gray. Lorimer's on the right. Lorimer the low one. Another corner. This time Nulty's the man who intercepts as Leeds put the Newcastle defence under pressure. The head of Jeff Nulty, the former Burnley player, shouting to his defenders to get into position as yet another corner comes over to the near post. Mackenzie, yes! Mackenzie stealing in. The Newcastle defenders arguing among themselves whose fault that was. Duncan Mackenzie's header from close in from that corner. His 5th goal of the season. Leeds United 1, Newcastle United 0. Lorimer. MacDonald's gone back to help. Eddie Gray. Eddie Gray going through. Reaney just behind Reaney. Left for Lorimer. But Kennedy getting it away. MacDonald, but Gray has it from Cherry. Eddie Gray inside the box. And Mahoney scrambled away. Here's Bremner. Here's Joris. 2. Sooner or later it was going to go in. The Newcastle defence just couldn't get it away. Eddie Gray started it, went round the defence. Mahoney half stopped it. Nolte couldn't get it away. Mackenzie fighting for it. Bremner's shot deflected to Yorath. Yorath past Mahoney and 2. Flicked by Nolte. Natsaris, chance for Howard. Madeley got it away. Natsaris. Really ping-pong in that Leeds penalty area now. MacDonald. Up goes Garling. McQueen. Nolte. What a shot. What a save. That was worth a goal, that shot from Nolte. A tremendous save by Harvey. Kennedy. A chance for Garling. He's behind McQueen. The ball glanced off Madeley's head and left McQueen stranded as Garling went through. But Garling, under pressure from McQueen, got his foot to the ball but put it wide. Eddie Gray. Peter Lorimer. Square Frank Gray. That hit the legs of Howard. Madeley. Well picked out by David Craig, but McQueen's gone up front. Lorimer. Yorath. Eddie Gray. Up for Bremner. Bremner being challenged by Gowling. Has Lorimer behind him. Lorimer's cross. Mackenzie. Goal! What a lovely goal. Mackenzie's second of the match and 6th of the season. A beautifully deflected header. There's the cross. Watch Mackenzie now. So delicate. Mahoney beaten at the near post. Greeny. And now break on. MacDonald. MacDonald versus McQueen. MacDonald loves this. No. Yes, is it? Someone is flat on his back. Let's see what happens here. MacDonald went round his man and Reaney just getting it away for a corner. McQueen is down, twisted himself. That's an awkward sign for the man who's had Achilles tendon trouble. But let's see it again. This is the chance that Malcolm MacDonald normally gobbles. There's McQueen, as you see, going down, hobbling in pain, leaving MacDonald a clear run. Well, he's up. That will be a relief for Leeds, but certainly Malcolm MacDonald normally gobbles those. Barraclough getting round Reaney. Gowling, MacDonald through his legs. It certainly isn't Malcolm MacDonald's lucky afternoon. Only a touch was overcomes the pass. MacDonald, and it goes through his legs. Frank Gray. Mackenzie chasing this. Mackenzie. Oh, great effort by Mackenzie. Great save by Mahoney. That was a beautiful bit of football by both men. Just watch this shot by Mackenzie and this save by Mahoney. He tries to put it over his head, and desperately Mahoney makes it. Great football, both parties.
Yes, some brilliant stuff there, and a 3-0 win for Leeds. Well, West Ham top of the First Division, Crystal Palace top of the Third. For those of us in London, at any rate, things looking a little brighter now. Queen's Park Rangers still very well placed, but I think the most significant thing to come out of their match yesterday was further evidence that Spurs and our guest today, Willie Young, are really on the march once more. They got a point, they might have snatched 2, and we salute now that new-look Spurs team and indeed the men behind them as well.
Webb's after him. And he's still got in a very good cross towards Ralph Coates, and that very nearly came off for Tottenham. And here's Chivers. Oh, and a good shot. Crossing again towards Perriman. Chris Jones, he'd almost got it on the turn. He almost got it on the turn again, and somehow Park saved him. But now it's Chris Jones for Tottenham. He's hurdled past McClintock, and there's a good shot. Oh, my goodness!